All right. All right, let's go ahead and begin our pre-flight process. We'll go ahead and start off with our alignment up top. All right, let's go ahead and begin with a quick nav light and a quick alignment as well. We'll go to init, go to IRS initiation. Alright, we'll go ahead and enter our starting airport, which is Charlotte, and we are heading to LaGuardia. Perfect. Alright, and our flight number is Spirit 655. Alright, cost index is 12, and flight level is 370. Alright, go ahead and go to IRS page now. We can align it and confirm our align. We can head on over to flight plan now. Click on Charlotte, go to departures. Doing a 36 center departure. Let's see, where is it? There it is, BV2. Or Barmy 2, sorry. Barmy 2 departure. And a RDU transition, which is Raleigh Durham transition. Go ahead and integrate that now. Then destination is going to be LaGuardia. We're going to do ILS. What is that? 3-1. Doesn't appear to have ILS 3-1. Alright, so we are going to have to change that to the other active runway. And we'll do ILS 13 instead. There we go, ILS 13. And we are still on the same departure, or arrival, sorry. Which is the, where is it, Corey 3, there we go, nice. And no transition on that. Alright, that looks good. Alright, and then we can go and enter our other waypoints as we go, which should be now way. That looks proper. Interesting. Should be there. Alright. Back out of that, we can do gears. Why isn't it there? I don't know. Alright, well, we can do hertz. These are not new waypoints, these are old waypoints. See if this one works. Alright, I have no idea then. We're just gonna go ahead and connect to that and call it a day. Alright, finish off with the perf here. Head over to the screen, go ahead and get some fuel on board. It's only requesting about 70, no, just 7. Still need to go out 7 kilograms here. Set that, remove our truck. For packs, looking at a full flight. For baggage, we're looking at 3,900. So that'll be up a little more. But it's not all in cargo 1. It's also in cargo, no, not 5, cargo 3. Alright, spot on. Set that. Go ahead and remove our guys there. That looks all good to me. Alright, let's go ahead and go to perf data. It'll tell me everything here. As well as our speeds. So we'll go to perf calculator. We'll go to get. It gets runway length, and it is runway 36. That's why I don't understand how it gets that. Should be 36. Calculate that. There we go, and then we just say set. And that'll be all loaded up for us. And then we can go and go flaps 2 for takeoff. Go to perf. Oh, we're already there, just kidding. Next phase, next phase, next phase, next phase. We can do that later on, since that is our approach phase. But for now, we'll go to, where is it? Fuel and bread, there it is. I'm not a huge Airbus guy, so I rarely ever fly Airbus. But we'll go to perf data, and our serial fuel weight is 560. 56. Nope. 56.0. And then our zero fuel CG is 29.5. 29.5. And put that up top. It doesn't like it. Let's see. Oopsie. What is going on? No idea what's going on. Didn't have this problem last flight, but it should be 56.0 slash 29.5. There it goes. Alright, I was just doing it wrong. Alright, that looks good. Go ahead and do 37 on this. Alright, let's see. Where can I find the dome light on this plane? There you go. As easy as that. Alright, cool. go ahead and go APU to the start position. There we go. Didn't know I was turning on for some reason. It turned on eventually. Go and turn on our fuel pumps here. That all looks good. Go emergency exit light arm, seatbelt sign auto, no smoking sign on. No smoking on this flight. Alright. Alright, we'll go ahead and wait for that to spool up, and then once we get that, we'll go ahead and push on back. So we'll call for our push. Sweet. It says GPS primary. I don't know what's wrong with that. Let's see. Looks good to me. Yep, looks good. Alright, sweet. Got a flight plan. Go to plan. Alright, sweet. That looks good. Ready to connect? Sounds good. Right. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Alright, we're all good. We're all good. Alright, disconnect our GPU. And then we'll go to, where is it? Lights on. Beacon lights the auto position. Sorry about that. Alright. And then we will go ahead and let's see, dim that down a bit. There we go. Make sure that's all good there. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, tow is connected. We are ready to go. Go ahead and turn ourselves a bit this direction. Make sure we're clear of the groundway. And we'll release our parking brake for push. Altimeter here is 303. Or 3003, but there we go. Altimeter is set. Speed limitation is on for some reason. I see. Tune this up to about 220. actual climb out of here. We're gonna speed on out of here. Go 220 on that. Cool. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and go with auto. Everything looks on to auto. So I will go ahead with the engine start. Go engine 2. To the start position. Ah. Make sure that's on auto. It is. Alright, good. Oops, there we go. Alright. Now everything looks good. Make sure we're all clear here on the overhead panel. If you bleed on. Cross bleed open. Everything looks good on the overhead panel. Make sure the throttle is in a full idle position, which looks good and safe. Which means we are good for start. Alright, there's engine 2 getting good flow. Alright, set parking brake. Cool. Engine 2 looks good. Let's go engine 1 to the on position. This is XPLANE 12, by the way. Not Microsoft. As you can tell by probably some of the features that are lacking over Microsoft. But I prefer XPLANE over Microsoft just because I like the planes and I like the realism more. Realism not being graphics, but realism being physics. Let's go for flaps too. Alright, flaps are set for flight. Let's go and do a quick aileron test. Good. Go for speed brakes. Speed brakes looks good. Retract those back. Alright, let's go ahead and start taxiing on our way. Let's go taxi lane on. Turn off light on. Not runway turn off, off, I meant. Strobe to auto. Need to zoom in on this part. There we go. That can come off. If you bleed, can come off. That looks good. Head to arc. Yes. Alright, cool. We'll go ahead and start taxiing to 36 Center. Yes, I should have technically taken that right turn back there, but that's alright, we'll just keep going down this way. We get the bear fair going here. Spirit flight. Gonna be my second spirit flight ever in the simulator, not in real life. I've done a couple in real life. This will be my first or second one, sorry, in the simulator. So that's kind of cool. So yes, so that goes. I like flying the A320. This is gonna be my only second. This is gonna be only my second time flying it, so I haven't flown it much, but it's a very easy plane to learn, especially if you've already flown a couple of the Airbus products. Like I have A350, A380, a little bit of the A330. So I've already flown a bit of the products that Airbus made. So autopilot is very simple, but I also fly a lot of the Boeing products. Their autopilot is less simple, but more intuitive, I think. see here. I need to turn eventually to one of these taxiways. So let's slow down a bit. I must just slow down a bit. Here's my turn here. Look at that. Alright. This is ILS 4, I believe. 05, yeah, 05. We will go ahead and go runway turn off light on. Alright, here's the crossing point for 05. Runway turn off lights are already on. Landing lights are already on. Lights are already on. Make sure we're known. Go ahead and go landing lights off. Alright, strobe light off. Runway turn off light off. Back to dark. We're heading all the way down to taxiway uniform here at Charlotte. Then we'll make our move from there on. Alright. Looking good at the moment. Here's Echo 2, and the next one is uniform, which is mine. Alright, gotta start slowing down here. Go ahead and go runway turn off. Alright, landing lights on. Go ahead with our strobe. Alright, and this is us. My 3-6 center. Clears takeoff. 145 knots is the V rotate. Let's do it. Got 100 knots there. 120 knots. 140 knots, it assumes. And 150 V1 rotate. Rotate, positive rate. Gear up. Still just hand flying it at the moment. Big fan of hand flying. Alright, let's go and go autopilot 1. Flaps up. Take a quick screenshot for the Valenta. Gotta do that. Alright, let's see. Everything looks good up top. Everything looks good down here. We are just gonna be cruising here for a bit. Go ahead and change that. Right, at 12,000 feet. We are nice and stabilized, good battery. 2 great engines as well. I suppose we can go ahead and go to radio navigation. Enter 134 to the course here. Do it on the other side as well. See if I can go and put up the Volanta thing here. Doesn't seem to be working. The Volanta plugin. Trying to get that to show. Well, I've noticed that a lot of people have them, but can't seem to get it. That's alright. We'll go without for now. I'll just keep y'all updated. At the moment, it's telling me an hour and 14 remaining. So call it about an hour and 30 minutes. Just because we do have to do the arrival and departures and all that stuff. So it's going to be a little bit more than an hour and 13 minutes. Alright. 1,000 feet, flight level 215 at the moment. Cruising at Mach 0.639, which is pretty mediocre speeds. Not fast, not crazy slow either. Good speeds, good speeds. I'm gonna grab some water and be right back for a cruise, and then eventually we'll descend into New York. Spirit in New York. That's what I'm gonna call it. So just after Raleigh, Durham, we'll reach top of cruise right there. So just over 80 nautical miles and just under 120, so about 100 nautical miles. We will have reached top of cruise TOC at flight level 370. We're going to be doing an ILS approach. So we'll be using the localizer and the approach mode on the A320. That works perfectly in this flight factor plane, I've noticed. Grab some water and I'll be right back. Alright, let's see. Just about to cruising. Nearly. Grab another screenshot. And, it lets you do up to 3. So I have 2 at the moment. When it comes to night screenshots, they're pretty lame. Oh, sorry about that. I believe I just showed that on the screen on accident. Oopsie daisy. Alright, we'll go ahead and start our descent here. Alright. A little high on the descent at the moment, but it's alright. Alright, let's see. Hopefully we can make up. I kind of forgot about top descent, and we passed by it, so we're just making up for it at the moment. So we're a little high, but that's okay. We need to be a Bessie at flight level 198, and we are at flight level 228, so we're quite high, but eventually we'll catch up and make up for the time. We are very high at the moment, but we'll fix it out eventually. Quickly descending, though. Not a slow descent, that's for sure. Alright. Everything is looking great. We're just on idle right now. Dropping quickly. So we're at flight level 210. We need to be at, what does it say? 200. So we are spot on, as you can see. We've made up for it. Let's see, at Edger, we need to be at 160. So hopefully we'll be able to reach that. I don't know if we will or not. We have 160. I think we should be able to get 160 by Edger. That should be easy. So that's good. So yeah. Everything is looking good at the moment. I continuously say that just because I always like to check to make sure everything's good, because the moment something goes wrong is the moment everyone's dead and my plane is in flames with a feet per minute landing rate of 17,000. So some point. I just need to keep on saying that so that everything is good. Because the moment I don't say it, we're all going to flames. Anyway, beyond that, seatbelt sign can come on. As I forgot to do earlier. And this looks quite good. At the moment. What do I need to be at for Davies? Davies is at 146. Alright. Now we're heading down for Holy, which is 126. Pretty steep descent into LaGuardia. It's not a slow step descent. It's definitely steep. Like the one I did in Tampa, I think a couple of days ago. It was a very long descent too. It wasn't very steep. It was a very soft descent. This is definitely a steeper descent, but most of these northeastern state descents tend to be pretty steep, just because buildings and busy airports and many things along the lines. So they tend to be pretty steep. Like Boston is very steep. All of the New Yorks are going to be steep, obviously. I think Philadelphia is probably pretty steep. I know Boston's steep from experience in the real world, and I also know that Baltimore is pretty steep from experience from the real world. So that's how I know both of those. So I felt them. MBG 111 at Brand. 111. See if we can reach it. I don't think we are. We'll see. We could be reaching it spot on, actually. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna reach it, I think. Let's see. More drag. It's a slight speed brake extension here. Drag if they're asking for it. Okay, I suppose it's that time to go ahead and take control of the speed. Set us down to about 190 here because we are dropping below what's the name? So it's about that time to begin dropping our speed here. There's no need for speed, brother, that's for sure. Definitely let loose on the speed, no need for that. I think LaGuardia is a pretty easy approach, if I'm not mistaken. So, it shouldn't be too terrible. Pikes, we need to be at 067 or 076, sorry. 076 at Pikes. Alright, slowly making our way into LaGuardia here. And then we're going for the gates closer to 3-1. Kind of this terminal here is what we're going for. The Delta terminal around there. Whoa, there we go. It's funny because the approach, or sorry, the descent on the departure or the arrival star is very steep. Then it kind of smooths out once you reach the end of the star. It starts to kind of smooth out towards the approach. It's kind of cool, I think. We're going to be spot on flight level 076 at Tykes. Alright, I almost forgot. We can go ahead and put on our landing lights. I think I'm going to go ahead and turn that on to dim just so I can see throughout the landing. Just in case. Go ahead and arm our speed brakes here. Nearing time for flaps 1 here. Let's see, the flaps limit is 230. See, at Minx, we need to be 066. At Minx. I'm hoping for under 300 feet per minute on the landing. Night landing, a little challenging, but really not difficult at all. This plane's pretty easy to land, I agree. It is smaller, so little simple plane. I flew the A350 this morning. I did a flight overnight, and it was from LA to Singapore with the Singapore A350, A359. And it was a harsh landing. I think it was negative 569 feet per minute, which isn't awful, obviously, for that big of a plane, but it wasn't the smoothest in the world. I've done better in the A350. But this plane tends to be much easier to land. I'm going to go and decrease speeds to about 200. And I'm also going to go ahead and go with quick speed brakes here. As well as flaps 1. Never too early for flaps 1. Besides when you're over 130 knots, I guess. That'd be a little early. So if this button was operatable, I would obviously have side stick priority on captain, but the button is not operatable, operational. It's in op, so side stick is not on the captain. Put that back to armed. No, there's no need to accelerate. This plane is a little harsh when I accelerate, so won't lie. But I think it's fine. Let's see, renew, we need 4,920, so have plenty of time to get there. There it goes, over accelerating again. Interesting. It's fine though. What is it? 5,000? No, 4,920. So call it 5,000. Right about. Okay, let's see. Got a nice little bridge there, don't we? Let's see, so that is Coney Island in front of us, according to Volanta. And that is, well, not necessarily, but over there is Staten Island. That appears to be kind of downtown Staten Island over there. LaGuardia is low pressure. LaGuardia is very low pressure. Oh, go back one phase. There we go. Make sure there's the pressure. Should be good. Alright, so what is Apple? Apple is 4,500. So we should be all good there as well. Let's see, so downtown New York is just ahead of us. There it is over there. So there you have it. That's what XPLANE downtown New York looks like. Pretty much. And then in front of me, directly, is... I don't really know, actually. I don't know what that is. But that right there is the downtown New York. New York City right there. Nothing crazy. I also don't have all the buildings loading in. So it's loading probably about half of them. Maybe a little bit less than half. But as you can see, a surplus amount of airports, and that one, by the way, is not mine. At least I don't believe. Guess it very well could. I wouldn't know. Okay, it is, but it's just the wrong runway. That is the proper airport, but that is runway 4. Runway 04. But I'm going runway 13. But yeah, I believe that is LaGuardia though. That's me right there, going across. New York definitely looks good at night, I'll tell you that much. And it's not an easy scenery to run either, that's for sure. Go to LS mode on both sides. Route is 3,700. JFK is just over here. I believe that's it right there. Let's do. And we'll decrease our speed as well to about 175. definitely a fun airport to fly into, though. Maybe I'll get that as my last screenshot there. That'll look nice. Because I don't usually do night flights just because it kills my PC, but today it seems like it's holding up nicely, which is good to hear. So, that's good. We are going to fly directly over New York City, actually. This is actually going to be kind of freaky. Wow, this is actually something else here. I won't lie. This is a very, very, honestly, kind of scary approach. I won't kid you. This is not an easy approach. I think that's the Empire State Building in front of us, the flashing color ones, if I'm not mistaken. And a bunch more buildings over there. Oh yeah, we're just over that, aren't we? Giant beacon light on top of it, which I find interesting. But yeah, we're just gonna fly right on top. God, that is something else, isn't it? That is some pretty crazy stuff. I will not kid you. And that little blue thing down there, that's actually a helipad, believe it or not. A lot of rich folks land their helipads there. And that's where they'll land. Right there. On that blue little lot there. I think they're about 8 or 9. I think it's called like a jetport or a heliport. Yeah, there it is, downtown Manhattan, Wall Street Heliport, that's what it's called. And it's got a proper iCal code and everything. Okay, so we're well over, which is good. I thought we were going to be really close at first, but we are well over the Empire State Building, I believe. Is still what I think it is. It's still what I think it is. We're going to go flaps 3. We're going to slow her down to 160. No, 160 will do. There we go. And I don't think it's too early to go ahead and go gear down. So that's what we're going to do. So I don't forget it. Because I feel like I am, because I'm going to be kind of stressed out from this approach. Maybe this gear is down and good. Get you back in here. Got 3 greens there and 3 greens there. Means gear is down and proper. I'm going to go ahead and start localizing while I can. And I'm going to drop to final approach speed. Which is going to be about 150 range. We are not going to use speed brakes for this final approach speed. We're just going to go flaps full is all we're going to do for that. Going to go auto brake medium. Shouldn't need too much. that looks all good. Cool. We are smoothly going down. Looks like we've already captured localizer. Or we will soon when we make this turn. But it already has Cat 1 on the screen, which leads me to believe this is Newark to our left here. Could be wrong about that as well. Oh no, that is Teterboro, I believe. Yeah, that's Teterboro. That's Teterboro over there. Looking all shiny. That's runway 1 and runway 19. Teterboro. That's the one straight ahead of us. That means Newark is a little south of us. I see. I'm thinking about doing another long haul flight later. Probably not today. Sometime next week. And it will be Newark to Singapore, the second longest flight in general. It's basically like the JFK route, it's just slightly shorter. I don't know how, because technically JFK is closer than Newark to Singapore, because you go across the West Pond. So I don't know. Or the East Pond for New York terms, I guess. So I don't know how that works, but it is slightly shorter. Possibly because of, I don't know, New York departure, John F. Kennedy departure versus Newark departure. I do not know. Alright, there you go. So now you can see it's boxed. Which means it's captured and it is ready to go. Go ahead and turn on approach mode. Cat 3 single, there it is. Turn on autopilot 2 as well. There we go. Now we're good. So at Steed, we need to be at flight level 2000. So we're gonna descend a little steep to Steed. Pick it back up slowly. And there it is. In all her glory. 1-3. LaGuardia. And we're going to be crossing over $2,500. Let's gear down. That's full speed brakes armed. I'm going to take control at about 400 feet, maybe 500, depending on how I'm feeling. You can even see JFK off in the distance to our right up there. That's JFK up there a little bit. Man, what a approach, though. This is such a cool approach. I've never done this. This is Really enjoyable, actually. I need to do it more often, this LaGuardia approach. It is fun. Especially in the A320 when it does all the work for you. In Boeing, you know, you kind of gotta work it out, but in Airbus, boy, it just does everything for you. You can land it if you want as well. It's not pretty, but it works. Tried it once in the A350. Did not look good. I'll tell you that much. I think it was like negative 800 or something crazy along those lines. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take control here. It'll gently remind me that the aircraft is getting pissed off. Oh, in flight, I feel pretty confident at what's going on right now. So I'll just bring her in myself here. Tell me what spirit captains do. They can do this. Just me, apparently. The only spirit captain out there that can do this. I believe this is all water in front of me as well, so this is nerve-wracking. Huh. $1,000, okay. A little high-ish. Well, no, we're good. Right here. Boy, these must be the high-up spirit pilots, because you gotta pay me a pretty penny to land here. I wouldn't do this for free, that's for sure. Sounds good to me. 500 seems fair. Got a couple of boats, it looks like, in front of us. That looks pretty fair. Alright, that'll work. Whoa, big float, hello. It's all good here. Like I said, no reversers because it does not work on the A320 for some reason. It only works for the A350, A380, and other planes. So at the moment, we are just using speed brakes and auto brake, and that's really it. Speed brakes, auto brakes, flaps, all that good stuff. Speaking of, flaps up. Alright, well, welcome to Dark LaGuardia. That was a very, very cool approach, to say the least. That was definitely a, I'm gonna say a top 5 landing. That was pretty cool. Just gonna head on out here. Let's see, while I'm at it, I will turn off my strobe light and my beacon light. And I will turn on my taxi light. There we go. Great job. I will turn off all my landing lights since I'm clear of the runway officially. Let's see, I should just be taxiing here to the left. So it's not a long taxi at all. I'm gonna head left on this next taxiway. Little big bounce. I won't lie, I wasn't going for that huge bounce. That just kind of happened. But it was fine. It was a little higher than I wanted to land at, to be fair. This is me here. Yes. This is, in fact, me here. Start turning out. Go ahead and turn off my nose light here. I turned that off so that if there was a guy bringing me in, he would be blind by the end of his shift. It's good practice, just in case anyone becomes a pilot. Don't want to hurt that guy's eyes, especially if you're in a bigger plane. That's when it can get pretty bright. We are way off center line right now. That's when I like to head outside and make sure I get it on center line. There we go. Just like that. Slow down. And boom, that'll play. I go a little right. There we go. Parking brake. And parking brake set. go to ground handling. We'll toggle jetway attachment. That'll slide on over. All right, and here we go. There we go. All right, sweet. That is now cold and dark. All right, well, jetway is connected. That will go ahead and do it for me. I hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for popping by, and enjoy your flights.